Today we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 1, Text 29, and going on to 30, because there's no purport for 29. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Katsitsakam tattva vishnibojam Sarhakanam adipatsa aste Yam amesat chatapatra netro Nipastana shamparita dardurat Katitsakam satvata vishnibojam Saharkanam dipatsa aste Yamabasin chatapatra netro Nipastana shamparita durat Katchitsukam sattva vishnibojam Saharkanam adipatsa aste Yamabasin chatapatra netro Nipasana shamparita durat Ladies, Katchit, whether Sukham is all well, Satpata is Satpata race, Vishni, the Vishni dynasty, Bhoja, the Bhoja dynasty, the Sarhakanan, the Sarha race, Adipata, King Ugrasena, Sa, he, aste, does exist. Yam, who, abhisinchat, installed. Shatapatra Netra, Lord Sri Krishna. Snipa Asana Asham, hope of the royal throne. Parihiritya, giving up, Durat, at a distant place. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Oh my friend, tell me whether Ugrasena, the king of the Sattvatas, Vishnus, Bhojas and Dasharhas, is now doing well. He went far away from his kingdom, leaving aside all hopes of his royal throne, that Lord Krishna again installed him. Text 30. O gentleman, does Samba fare well? He exactly resembles the son of the personality of Godhead. In his previous verse, he was born as Kartikeya in the womb of the wife of Lord Shiva, and now he's been born in the womb of Jambavati, the most enriched wife of Krishna. Purport. Lord Shiva, one of the three qualitative incarnations of the personality of Godhead, is the plenary expansion of the Lord. Kartikeya, born of him, is on the level of Pradyumna, another son of Lord Krishna. When Lord Sri Krishna descends into the material world, all his plenary portions appear with him to exhibit different functions of the Lord. But for the pastimes at Vrindavan, all functions are performed with the Lord's different plenary expansions. Vasudeva is a plenary expansion of Narayan. When the Lord appeared as Vasudeva before Devaki and Vasudeva, he appeared in his capacity as Narayan. Similarly, all the demigods of the heavenly kingdom appeared as associates of the Lord in the forms of Pradyumna, Samba, Uddhava, etc. It is learned here that Kamadeva appeared as Pradyumna, Kartikeya as Samba, and one of the Vasurs as Uddhava. All of them served in their different capacities in order to enrich the pastimes of Krishna. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Data Bharakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadaitam Savadutam Parijana Saikam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamscha Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Svamaniti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. So, I'm actually quite unqualified to sit here on this exalted seat, but I'm doing so in the order of my spiritual master to preach the glories of Sri Krishna all over the world. Why do we talk about the glories of Krishna? Why not the glories of this person or that person, some politician, some rock star, some star baseball player? Why Krishna? Why should we talk about Krishna? Well, talks about Krishna are not ordinary talks. Krishna just happens to be the source of all existence. Ishvaraha Paramaha Krishnaha Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. Krishna is the Supreme Controller, Ishvara Parama Krishna. Asatchidananda Vigraha, he's an eternal form full of bliss and knowledge. Anadir, he has no origin. Adir is the origin, and Sarva Karana Karanam, and he is the cause of all causes. So, when we connect with Krishna, we're connected with everything. Krishna is the source of everything. When you connect with the source, you're connected with everything. When you water the root of the tree, you're watering all the leaves and branches. When you feed your stomach, you're feeding and nourishing every single part of your body. So when we connect with Krishna, we are connected, and we're connecting the whole world with Krishna, whether they know it or not. The more we vibrate these holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. The power of these names go out through the entire material existence. And they bring about the reconnection. This is called the Nama Sankirtan movement, inaugurated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a little over 500 years ago in West Bengal. We vibrate these names while we're connecting ourselves and everyone throughout all this material existence back to their original source, Krishna, who happens to be their most intimate, well-wishing friend. Can you imagine if that person who owns everything, controls everything, knows everything, he's your most intimate, well-wishing friend? Well, that's the position. When you come to Krishna consciousness, that means there's no problem. If my best friend owns everything, controls everything, and knows everything, then I have no problems. So, if your best friend is the most wealthy man in the whole world, the most powerful man in the whole world, the most knowledgeable person in the whole world, you've got no problems, you see. But the only problem is we're forgetting Krishna. We keep forgetting him again and again and again and again and again and again. Who is Krishna? This reminds me of an interesting pastime in the early days of ISKCON. They didn't know who Krishna was, they just know who was Swamiji. They had an initiation ceremony there in temple number 2 in Frederick Street. I went to that temple in '68. My first ISKCON temple I went into was 518 Frederick Street in San Francisco, Haight-Ashbury, the hippie headquarters. And so Prabhupada gave an initiation, and the next day he asked one devotee, "What is your name? Did you know what your name means?" She said, "What is my name?" She didn't know her name was. "Oh, you're Nanda Priya." "What is Nanda Priya?" "Well, that's the one who was dear to the mother of Krishna." You see, Nanda Priya, yeah. She didn't know what her name meant, and he said, "Oh, the one who was, that's the name of Krishna's mother." And she said, "Who is Krishna?" She didn't know who Krishna was. She got initiated, didn't know who Krishna was. But you know who is Swamiji, you see. So in this way, Prabhupada was very liberal and very lenient. They were so attracted to Swamiji. Yeah, Swamiji. Very attracted to Swamiji, Prabhupada, they called him later on, you see. So in this way, Prabhupada introduced us to Krishna consciousness because he gave us so much love, you see. Nobody had loved us like Prabhupada did, you see. Everybody had the condition, love me, I'll love you if you give me this, you give me that, give me, you see. But unconditional love, that we got from Prabhupada, you see. It was amazing how much he gave his love to every one of his disciples. Even when he had thousands of disciples, still every disciple was the most dear person to him. He would write the letters, my dear so-and-so, you see. It wasn't just some words. My dear Sankarshan Das. It wasn't just some words. Prabhupada accepted every single disciple as most dear, you see. So because Prabhupada gave us that love, he took us as very, very dear to him, you see. So we wanted to reciprocate. Prabhupada has given me so much love, so purely and so wonderfully. Give me this love now. I want to give my love back to Prabhupada, you see. And that exchange of love between the disciple and the spiritual master is the sweetest nectar. I remember one of my first pastimes with Prabhupada in 1971 in front of the Los Angeles temple. It was a wonderful, wonderful pastime that we used to do every day. You know the famous morning walks, right? Prabhupada go on the morning walk with a few big names, sannyasis, GBCs, temple presidents. You come back now, all the devotees are waiting. Prabhupada is coming back from the walk. We're all waiting for him there on the sidewalk in front of the temple. And we used to have a system. We would line up the big queue all the way down the sidewalk, all the way back to his quarters on the side of the temple. And Prabhupada would have a basket of flowers, and every devotee would have one flower. And then Prabhupada would come down the queue, one devotee, another devotee, another devotee. and you would hand Prabhupada a flower and he'd hand you one also. Just imagine you have your one-on-one, just you and Prabhupada exchanging flowers. Wow, it was really something. So Vishnu Jan Swami, he made me a devotee. He was the first one in the queue. He got more than a flower, he got a hug. Oh wow, he's getting a hug from Prabhupada. Always about number 2 or number 3, maybe 3 or 4 in the queue. So I handed Prabhupada my flower, he handed me one. Oh wow, I have a flower that Prabhupada gave me. Oh wow, Prabhupada from Lotus Hands, I got this flower from Prabhupada. So now I'm holding the flower. And now I have this is how I describe Prabhupada Prabhupada's darshan, you see. Not like seeing an ordinary person. I call it drinking Prabhupada into your heart through your eyes. Not only drink through the mouth, right? You can actually drink with your eyes. Drinking Prabhupada into your heart through your eyes. So Prabhupada's coming down the queue, another devotee, another devotee, another devotee. And there's the steps in front of the building there. As Prabhupada came by, I stood up on the steps so I could get a good view of Prabhupada as they came by. So Prabhupada, he looked up at me. He saw me standing there standing on the steps. He looked up at me. He held up a flower. Did you get one yet? Body language, right? Did you get one yet? He said, oh yes, I showed him the flower. Yes, I have one yet, Prabhupada. He took so much care. I'm just some ordinary bhakta from Texas. And he wanted to make sure I didn't miss getting a flower, you see. This was the personal loving concern of what makes every devotee got a flower, you see. So now I'm a brahmachari, I can't take it home and put it in a glass container to put on the mantle there in my apartment. I'm just a brahmachari. How am I going to keep this flower now? Well, I ate it. Merged it into my body. I'm going to merge this flower into my body. My whole body gets pure by eating the flower. And I did. I ate that. There was no thorns, luckily. So in this way, you see, this loving exchange between Prabhupada and the disciples, you see. This actually enables us to enter into the Srimad Bhagavatam. At a certain point, Prabhupada introduced this thing called Srimad Bhagavatam class. And when I joined, we had Mangal Arti, but no Tulsi worship and no Guru Puja. But then shortly after, a new thing was introduced, Tulsi worship. And then about 2 years later, some new thing was introduced called Guru Puja. So Prabhupada gradually introduced all these different systems we use to connect, you see. And by looking here at the Bhagavatam, we can see these amazing qualities here. Here we look in text number 29, it's amazing. Here's Ugrasena, the king of this. He's not only the king of the Sattvatas, he's king of the Vrishnis, the Bhojans, and the Kshatriyas. He's a big, big king. He's got 4 different dynasties. He's the king of 4 different dynasties. But he went away from the kingdom, giving it all up. Who needs a royal throne? I just need Krishna consciousness, right? But Krishna installed him again. You give up the throne, but you're qualified to lead because you're not attached to the throne, you see. So that person is actually qualified to lead us is that person is not attached to any position, you see. You think, I have to have a big position. Give me a big position, okay? Give me a big position. Bow down to me, give me a big position. I will lead you. That person is not qualified. The person who's not after any position, that's the person who's qualified to lead us, you see. Just like, what does Lord Chaitanya say? Lower than the straw in the street, offering all respect to others, without desiring even a slight tinge of respect for himself. In such a state of mind, what he can do? Come on chanting, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Constantly, you see. So Prabhupada has given us this wonderful system, how we can actually deliver ourselves from all anxieties, you see. Devotional service is the immediate result of pure devotional service. It means all kinds of relief from all kinds of material distress. Now I'm asking all of you assembled Vaishnavas, guests, Vaishnavis, etc. Are all of you in some sort of material distress right now? Yeah. We're all suffering from something, isn't it? Material distress is a concomitant factor of the living entity. He's always suffering from this distress, from that distress, from not this one, if not that one. There's always some kind of distress bothering us, you see. I'm always being bugged with these distresses, you see. But when you take the Krishna consciousness in the mode of pure devotional service, taking it sincerely, purely, I want nothing else except to serve Krishna from now on for all of eternity, then all material desire is bust, finished, you see. Kick him out. Get out of my heart, you damn material desires. I want only Krishna Bhakti and nothing but Krishna Bhakti. Actually, it's not that difficult because Krishna is already sitting there, you see. Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the mind. It is a natural, it's an awakening of the original natural energy of the living entity. So if somebody asks you in a nutshell, what is Krishna consciousness? Is it some weird cult? Is it some new religion? No, it's simply know who you are and be who you are. I ask you, my dear atheist friend, would you like to know who you really are? No, I don't want to know. Even an atheist would say, yes, I'd love to know who I am. Maybe I'm the son of a multimillionaire or something. If I asked you, my dear atheist friend, would you object to knowing who you are? No, that's okay. And once you know who you are, my dear atheist friend, would you object to being who you are? What atheist? No, I don't want to be who I am. Even an atheist or an impersonalist, they wouldn't object to knowing who they are and being who you are. So our philosophy is very simple. Know who you are and be who you are. It's that simple. Jivarasa Rupahai Krishna Nitya Das. I have found out by the mercy of the spiritual master, the Vaishnavas, the scriptures, and by Krishna within himself, within the heart, I found out actually I'm the eternal servant of Krishna. That's who I actually am. And by the association of the sadhus, I can actually learn the art of being that once again. I've been suffering from amnesia for millions and millions of lifetimes, but now I'm being taught how to come back to my original identity that I've lost for millions of births to the 8,400,000 species. Now I've come back to being who I actually am. I went through so many endeavors to become self-realized as a young seeker. And I could never quite get it straight. You know, what is self-realization? But being raised as a Christian, and associating with some other Christians who were reading the Bible every morning, I got into the habit of reading the Bible every morning. I was trying to find out what made Jesus Christ a self-realized soul. What was his secret? What made him a self-realized soul? And one day I found it. He says, Father, not my will, but thy will be done. Isn't that the same thing as Sarvadhaman Paridhaja? It's the same exact concept presented from a different way, from the standpoint of the devotee instead of the standpoint of the Lord. So I knew that was it. You have to do what God wants, not what you want. So, how to find out what God wants you to do? I didn't know what God wants me to do, so I started praying, Dear God, please guide me how I can become your perfect servant. And you know what? Krishna heard my prayer. He sent one devotee named His Holiness Vishnujana Swami to Austin, and he taught me how to be a devotee. Krishna, he saw my sincere prayer, and he answered my prayer. So Krishna is there for every one of us. If you pray sincerely to Krishna for the awakening of pure God, pure love of God within your heart, He'll make all arrangements for you. Don't feel all alone. Sometimes somebody's living with their parents, they can't come to the temple very much. Their parents say you can't go to the temple. You can't do this, you can't do that. But everybody, no matter what your position, even if you're a prisoner in the jail cell, every single person that's Krishna, their all-wishing friend, their ever-well-wishing friend, sitting there right now within their hearts. If you simply beg that Supreme Lord, my dear Krishna, please bless me, please guide me how I can now become your perfect servant. Krishna will reciprocate with you. I guarantee He will reciprocate with you. I don't care if you're a big prime minister, you're some sweeper in the street. I don't care if you're, whatever your position is, an American, a Russian, a Chinese, Lithuanian, whatever you may be, you see. I guarantee you, if you beg Krishna, please guide me how I'll become your perfect servant, He will hear your prayer and He will answer it. You have your one-on-one with just you and Krishna, you see. He'll answer your prayer. He'll give you the means, the method, the knowledge, the facilities to awaken your pure love of God within His heart, within your heart, you see. So there's no reason to continue suffering here in the three modes of material nature. We can come out of those modes right here, right now, by taking complete shelter of Krishna. He so mercifully come in the form of his holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nam avatar. So take full advantage of Krishna, and your life will be unlimitedly sublime. You won't ever take birth in this rotten hellhole of material existence ever again. You can go to sleep. The time of death will not be fearful for you. In fact, the time of death is something to look forward to. It's just like somebody saving up for a pilgrimage to Vrindavan. Say somebody in America, they're saving up, they got their vacation, getting their vacation time from the boss, they're shaving up their dollars, getting their reservation on the airplane, and that finally the day comes, they're going to the airport, they're going through that horrible security, you see, they got their luggage checked in, and now they're sitting there, and they say, okay, we're boarding time. You put your buckle in you just put your seat belt, buckle it, and boom, it's taking off. Wow, I'm taking off now for Vrindavan, ki jai. So that's death for a devotee. Taking off for Vrindavan, you're boom, taking off, you see. So death is actually something to look forward to. Death ki jai, you see. So even death is ecstatic, what to speak of old age or sickness, you see. So the devotee becomes fearless. Devotee learns they are becoming unlimitedly ecstatic in every situation. Normally people, they dread getting old, walking around with a cane or a wheelchair. They dread it. And then death finally comes, I'm so sick I can't even breathe properly anymore. It's a great fear for the non-devotees. For a devotee, it means closer and closer to Krishna, you see. I'm moving step by step to that wonderful day when, boom, I go to sleep and I wake up in Golok Vrindavan with Krishna, Radharani, Vishaka, Lalita, the gopis, the gopas, the peacocks, the cows, the river Jamuni without any pollution, you see. It's an ecstatic thing, you see. So we have nothing to worry about, nothing at all to worry about, except for getting Krishna, you see. So we have to mold our lives in such a way we never forget Krishna in any situation. That's the key. Mold your life in such a way that you're always Krishna conscious. That's the whole process of sadhana bhakti. It's not rules and regulations. Some people think, yes, rules and regulations, you got to follow the rules and regulations. But no. That's not the principle of Krishna consciousness. It's not rules and regulations. The principle is to be Krishna conscious. Did we call this the International Society for Rules and Regulations? You ever heard that? The International Society for Rules? No, this is not the International Society for Rules and Regulations. This is the International Society for Krishna consciousness. Rules and regulations come second to help you be Krishna conscious. They are servants of Krishna consciousness. So the first principle, just like in Prabhupada started ISKCON, he just presented, he put Krishna consciousness, and rules and regulations came later. Even their devotees who smoked cigarettes after the Bhagavatam class. Can you imagine? Initiated devotees are still smoking cigarettes in the very beginning. After class, go out and smoke a cigarette for Bhagavatam class. Can you imagine? And Prabhupada was very lenient and gradually introduced the rules and regulations. The first thing, bring them to Krishna consciousness. And they loved him. They loved chanting and dancing in ecstasy. So in this way, Prabhupada, it's in like a needle, out like a plow, you see. Somehow get Krishna consciousness in their hearts and gradually can introduce, do this, don't do that, don't have illicit sex, don't eat meat, don't do this, don't do that. That came later, and gradually, all these principles came. The first thing is be Krishna conscious, because Krishna is so beautiful, he's so wonderful, he's so powerful, and so wealthy, so famous, so renounced. All these amazing qualities. No person who has all these qualities. Nobody is unlimitedly rich, unlimitedly famous, unlimitedly beautiful, unlimitedly renounced, unlimitedly wise. No person anywhere. He's the supreme superstar. Nobody can come close to being a bigger superstar than Krishna. He's the ultimate superstar. People like superstars. They love, whether it's a rock star or an athlete, people like superstars. They groove on the superstars, you see. So why not have the ultimate superstar that you can go, wow, this amazing person. You can hear about him, you can talk about him, you can bow down to him, you can get mercy from him. You see? This was the amazing thing. I hadn't become a devotee yet, but some friend of mine turned me on to something called Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And I started chanting them. I hadn't even met the devotees yet. But then I found a Bhagavad Gita in the library with no purports. The verse said, if you offer, Krishna says, you'll offer me your love and devotion, a leaf, flower, food, or water, I'll have accepted. I went, wow. They didn't train me that in the Christian church. No Christian preacher ever taught me you could offer something to God and he would accept it from me, little old me, this little pipsqueak, he accepts something from me, God himself. That was an amazing concept for me. So I got a picture about it, Radha Govinda. I found it in a gift shop. I made a little altar. It's offering my food to Krishna, vegetarian. It's offering my food and taking the food, you see. That's how I began my Krishna consciousness, 68 in Denver, Colorado. Even before I met the devotees, even before I got Prabhupada's books. Somebody wondered, well, how did that happen? How were you so attached to Krishna? You know what Prabhupada said? He said, you boys, I think you're Indians in your previous birth, and you took birth here in the West to help me get this movement started. So when I first came to India, Mayapur festival, I felt like I'd come home again, you see. So it seems to me that I must have been in India in my previous birth. And I took birth in the West to help Prabhupada spread this movement. So now I feel like Vrindavan's my home. And I have another home in Texas. These two homes, Texas and Vrindavan. I go back and forth between my two homes. So it's nice to be home here with you all, here in Texas. I'm in Chowpatty, not Texas. In Chowpatty, I'm home here with you all here in Chowpatty, the land of Krishna. So I really want to see that India can come back to its former glory. So I many times explain, when I land here in the Holy Land of India, I go through passport control, I expect to see, Radha Krishna pictures. But what do I see? Johnny Walker and Russian vodka. And come on, India, get back into it. This is the land of Krishna, not the land of Johnny Walker and Russian vodka. And all of our Hindu brothers are lined up in a big queue with their Johnny Walker and Russian vodka before they leave the airport. I mean, India has really fallen in the Kali Yuga. But you people are very important because you're bringing India back to its former glories. ISKCON is the most important institution in all of India because you, ISKCON people, we ISKCONers, we are bringing India back to her former glory. This was the capital of the whole world. This is the most beautiful, most sophisticated, the most beautiful buildings, the cleanest place, and now it's the most dirty place. They put garbage everywhere. This is not Indian culture, putting garbage on the streets. Even in Vrindavan, every day garbage all over the streets. I'm shocked. This is Indian, this is Vrindavan. They take garbage, they can't go to the garbage can, you see. Even down to go to the Jamuna, there's so much garbage on the Jamuna. It shocks me. It's shocking me like anything. ISKCON must take the leadership role to bring India back to her former glory as the leading place of this whole planet. This was the capital of the whole world. This was the center of the whole universe, actually. Krishna's Leela, this is the center of the whole universe. So we must bring India back to her former glory, and it starts right here in our hearts, you see. If we clean the dirt out of our own hearts, we can clean the whole world, you see. That lust, that anger, that greed, that madness, illusion, envy, clean it out, trash your trash, and turn on your soul. Trash your mental trash and turn on your soul. That's what we have to do. Is there any questions? Any arguments? Any corrections? Am I speaking something bogus? Correct me, please. Here's a question.
Very fortunate to have you here and listen directly from you. You mentioned the primary concept is Krishna conscious, rules and regulations come next. When we have newcomers or people new to Krishna consciousness, how should we start a conversation, or what should we encourage them to do first?
You mentioned that the first rules and regulations wasn't first introduced to the new people. So nowadays, when the new people come, how we should preach to them, what we should tell to new people when they come?
So, when we have newcomers or people new to Krishna consciousness, how should we start a conversation, or what should we encourage them to do first?
You mentioned that the first rules and regulations wasn't first introduced to the new people. So nowadays, when the new people come, how we should preach to them, what we should tell to new people when they come?
We say, well, you're welcome to come to our temple if you're not eating meat, you're not having illicit sex. Come and relish the same principle is there. We don't have a rule on the door, no illicit sex. We don't put a big rule on the door. And we come in and chant and dance and exercise. And we want to increase the bliss of chanting and give up these things. We still say the same thing. Taste the nectar of Krishna consciousness. You see? Not that I sit here and say, oh, who's having illicit sex, meeting, intoxication, gambling, get out of here. Did we say that? Anybody who's having illicit sex, get out of this room, you're not welcome. We just say that? No, come in and relish the nectar of Krishna bhakti. And you want to go deeper in that ocean of nectar, give up a few things. Give up a few things. It's the same principle as there. Same principle. I know that's what attracted me, because when I first met the devotees, they were like rules and regulations. I went, oof. I was one of those hippies, we weren't into rules and regulations. They said, when the brahmachari said, we have to follow the higher authorities. And they went, oof, forget it. Forget it, no way. And then I met Vishnu Janaswami. He was different. Some friend of mine thought it was cool to have a shaved head with a sikha. So I wasn't a devotee yet, but I got a shaved head with a sikha. And the brahmacharis were angry. Who authorized you to shave up? They chastised me. The brahmacharis. The Vishnu Jan was cool. Because we'd had a drama in our festival in Dallas, and they had the Kazi breaking the drum, Leela. Because I had long hair and a beard, they had me play the Kazi. So I smashed the drum in the play. So I was known as the Kazi, who I smashed the drum. So Vishnu Jan Swami was talking with the president of Dallas. He said, guess what? The Kazi shaved up. So he was glorifying my shave. I wasn't in the temple. He was glorifying some wonderful thing. I was living outside the temple. Now, who knows I was following any rules at all, but I shaved up and he glorified me for shaving up. And the brahmachari scolded me. You see the difference of Vishnu Jan Swami's mood. That was Prabhupada's mood also. You encourage people, whatever they're doing, encourage their Krishna consciousness. And then after the rules and regulations can come later on. So that's how I got into the rules and regulations, because I've been encouraged by Krishna consciousness, you see.
Thank you.
This process works, it really does. Encourage their Krishna consciousness, whatever they may be, a butcher even. Encourage it. Oh, you chant Hare Krishna, man, you're a butcher? Wonderful thing, you chant Hare Krishna. See, encourage them, whatever their position, encourage them with their Krishna consciousness. And that's how we can capture the whole world. If we encourage whatever Krishna consciousness they have, everyone has some Krishna consciousness. Even the people who criticize those Hare Krishnas, they come by my shop every day going, Hare Krishna, I'm sick and tired of this Hare Krishna, I can't stand it. How many times he said Hare Krishna? Is it? You need to encourage them, yes, encourage them. And gradually we can liberate all these living entities. We can make this the world religion, Prabhupada told us. He said, as much as possible, read, chant, and preach. In this way, very soon, this will become the only religion in the world. We have a great potential to capture the entire world. Right there, right now, in 2024, we have a great potential to capture the whole world. Prabhupada said in 18 days we can capture the whole world. So let's become absolutely pure, free of lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy, and let's go for it with great enthusiasm to spark up a global spiritual revolution right now, today, on this planet. Hare Krishna. Next question. Is that it? Finished? Here's one of the Manajis has a question, okay.
Hare Krishna. Please speak on mic.
Microphone is coming to you now.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, my question is, what is the meaning or the real practical meaning of this complete surrender to the Krishna?
The practical meaning of complete surrender to Krishna.
Complete surrender means taking the order of the spiritual master as your very life and soul. Do whatever he says without question. At the same time, you should not be confused. You should find out why. You should learn why I'm following these. Not blindly follow, but find out why I'm doing this. Take the order of your spiritual master's life and soul. At the same time, study why I'm doing this, so you don't do it blindly. Okay? Got it? Now do that. Okay? Do it. All right, next. Everybody's had enough, want to get out of here as soon as possible? Here we go.
Prabhuji, so when we pray to Krishna for answers, how do we know it's Krishna's answer and not our mind's indication?
When we're praying to Krishna for answers, how to know that it's not our mind answering?
We pray to Krishna for what?
For some answers. So how to know it's not our mind is
It depends what you're praying for.
No. So how to know the answering?
How do I know if my prayer is materialistic?
No.
How do I know what the answer is?
When the answer comes, how to know?
How do I know what is the proper answer? If I'm going to get the answer or not?
So when the answer comes, how to know if it's from Krishna or from the mind?
It has to be confirmed by Prabhupada's books. The books are the basis. So the answer, the inspiration that comes is confirmed in the books, then you know it's bona fide. If it's not, you know it's bogus. That's why you have to read the books. So you can know if it's proper or it's improper. You have to know the philosophy of Krishna consciousness as well. So you can, the mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy. The mind is thinking in terms of the Shastra, it's your best friend. When it's thinking differently, it's your worst enemy. So read the books, and then you'll know if the inspiration is bogus or bona fide. Okay? Anything else? Or we end it here? So I have this memoir, the story of how a hippie became a happy. It's available from Premananda after the class. Yes, he's just scratching his head. Okay. He was actually just touching his glasses. You weren't asking because he was touching your glasses. Okay. Anybody wants to end it now? Finished? I've had enough. I can't stay in this class anymore. Let's call it quits. Yeah? Who wants to keep the class going? Okay.
Gurudev, how to handle provoking situations?
How to handle provoking situations?
Provoking situations. How to handle provoking situations. Don't be provoked. A nice class was given to my godbrother Shutakirti Guru the other day in Vrindavan. He was Prabhupada's personal servant for like 2 years. So there were all kinds of chaos going all around, but Prabhupada was always in the center of the hurricane. The eye of the hurricane, it's always peaceful, even with so many provoking, confusing situations whirling around. But in the middle, it's always peaceful. So always stay in the eye of the hurricane by taking shelter of Krishna. Sometimes Prabhupada would say to someone who's going through so much turmoil, their mind's so agitated, and Prabhupada would say, "Is everything all right?" Then he'd say, "Oh yes, Prabhupada, everything is all right." So always stay at the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. Always stay at Prabhupada's lotus feet. In either the most provoking situation, it won't be disturbed by it, you see. But sometimes you have to be strong also. Just like I was one day giving out Simply Wonderfuls on the street in Gainesville, Florida, inviting people to our center and giving out a Simply Wonderful. And one hippie thought he'd have a little fun with this Hare Krishna. He took my bowl of Simplies and he hit it and knocked all the Simplies out in the street. Now, should I have been provoked or not? The Simply Wonderfuls will hit out into the street. I'd be all right, very calm and peaceful, I'm not provoked. You think I should have been unprovoked in that situation? I'm very calm and peaceful. I'm not provoked by anything. All the Simply Wonderfuls were out on the street. Now I said, "You better get out and pick out those sweets right now!" That's using anger in the service of Krishna. And guess what? That hippie became a devotee. He ran out in the street and picked all the sweets up before the cars ran over him. You see, sometimes it's very good to be provoked. But not over your personal sense. If Krishna is insulted, if the Vaishnava is insulted, the spiritual master, you should become angry like fire, you see. It's called transcendental response. But for yourself, lower the strongest. Someone tells me you're the most despicable nonsense rascal I've ever met in my whole life. I said, "Thank you very much. You just blessed me." So for ourselves, we take a completely known position. But if the Vaishnava, the spiritual master, the prasadam, the deities, if they're offended, we're willing to fight to the death to protect the Vaishnavas, the deities. Someone comes to trash the deities, we'll take a gun and shoot him dead if we can. You see, you understand the difference? Yeah.
Gurudev.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
It's about the flower pastimes, where I was hearing about the flower pastime you had with Srila Prabhupada, and you had
some loving feelings from your heart also when you were receiving it and you were drinking the darshan. Could you explain
What is
like
it?
what was
What's
that?
he saying?
Yeah, could you explain like what was that feeling? Just drinking a spiritual master Prabhupada in your heart. Was that instant like anyone, you just see a spiritual master and you feel like that? How does it happen?
So he was explaining the pastime of the flower exchange with
Yeah.
Srila Prabhupada,
Mhm.
and he was explaining how it's like was like drinking through your eyes, your spiritual master.
Seeing his darshan, yeah.
Yeah, seeing his darshan. So can you elaborate on that feeling? How it is?
Elaborate on feeling ecstasy and taking the darshan of the spiritual master. Well, seeing Krishna as the perfection of the eyes, also seeing the spiritual master as the spiritual master, the external manifestation of Krishna. So just like we take just like seeing the deities, it's the perfection of the eyes, seeing the spiritual master is also the perfection of the eyes. Right now our eyes are covered, you see. By taking the darshan of the spiritual master in a mood of submission, you actually purify your vision. Premanjana charita bhakti vadachanena, you see. The illuminate love of God purifies the eyes. So this vision of Guru, of Krishna, even the Vaishnavas also, seeing the Vaishnavas, how they're so wonderfully serving Krishna, dancing and chanting in ecstasy, just like I'm having the darshan of so many Vaishnavas right now. And Prabhupada also, this is purifying my eyes. We're seeing you all here today, you see. Hearing submissively Srimad Bhagavatam, my vision is becoming purified by seeing all of you. Just seeing you also, my disciple. Prabhupada said the spiritual master considers that his disciples are sees his disciples as his spiritual master, because he has to serve them, you see. So the Guru doesn't think, yes, I'm the big Guru. The Guru thinks Krishna sent me so many spiritual masters. That's what the spiritual master feels by his disciple. Krishna sent so many spiritual masters, you see. So in this way we can understand how to actually drink in the beauty of Vaishnava Sangha, Krishna Sangha, Guru Sangha, Deity Sangha, Vrindavan Sangha, Nama Sangha. So many Sanghas Krishna has blessed us with. Does that answer your question? Anything else? Or you want to call it quits? I'm telling you, I'll get bored, start falling asleep. Here's one.
Hare Krishna. Very, very grateful for wonderful class. So my question was, you were saying that you come to the airport in India, you expect here, which is the spiritual capital of the world, to live up to the spiritual principles. But then the reality is quite different. So it's like the new crows, they are more enthusiastic for sense gratification. So how do we bring about that transformation? How do we get that message to the Indians? If you could share something.
So you mentioned about entering India, you expect to see the capital of spirituality, but then we face the reality that its sense gratification is flourishing.
Yeah.
So can you give some advices how to bring back?
To bring India back to her former glory, it's very simple. Why only India? Why not the whole universe? It's a very amazing purport. Prabhupada says, if one can chant the holy name without any offense, he becomes Jagat Guru. Under his influence, the whole world takes up Krishna consciousness. So there you have to do. You become Jagat Guru, a pure chanting of the names. You can make India Krishna conscious, China, Russia, everywhere, the whole universe even. By pure, it all goes down to pure chanting. Trouble is we're namaparadis. We're chanting so many, making so many offenses. Focus on being a pure chanter, Prabhu, and then your desired result of being a revolutionary, a spiritual warrior will come true. Being a pure chanter. So we'll go ahead and stop here. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna, let us thank the Sankarshan group for this wonderful brilliant class. We hope that Govind comes up often again. Let us thank him by 3 times loudly chanting Hari Bol! Hari Bol! His Sankarshan Prabhu ki Jai! Prabhupada